Hello guys, how are you?
I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please, guys, participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
You will hear a conversation between a librarian and student wishing to register with the library.
First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Hi, are you here for a library card?
Yes, what do I need to do?
I need to see proof of identity and proof of residence. You can use a driver's license, a passport, a utility contract with your name and address on, or a tenancy agreement. Do you have any of those with you today?
I have my passport and a copy of my landlord's lease agreement. Will they do?
Let me see. You need to fill out this form whilst I check your ID.
It says here that I need a personal identification number to access my account.
You can choose your own PIN. Make it a 4-digit number, but not consecutive numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can't repeat a digit.
I'd like to take out some books today. Will that be possible?
Once I've given you a valid library card and your PIN's been accepted.
Do I need to sign anywhere?
Sign the bottom of the form and also the back of the card once I've finished with it. Have you included your email address? We need this to notify you on your reserves and overdue items. We also email a monthly newsletter that includes details of new titles.
Can I access my account online?
That's right, just log in with your library card number, shown beneath the barcode, and enter your PIN.
What happens if I lose my card?
We'll cancel your old card and issue you with a replacement for a fee of $1. The first card is free. You'll also need a new PIN. We don't email it, so you'll have to come in so we can reset it.
OK, thanks. Am I ready to start checking out materials now?
Yes, you can access the library catalogue and your account right away. Here's a brochure telling you more about the library's lending policies and rules, as well as opening times, and there's information about late fees and lost items.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
OK, I'm ready to take out a few items, but can I go over a few things with you first, please?
What would you like to know?
Is there a limit on the number of items I can check out?
You can have 50 items out at any one time, including a maximum of 10 DVDs and 5 CDs.
Wow, that's quite a lot. What about how long I can take things out for? Books, for example.
The loan period is 3 weeks for books, unless they're new titles, in which case it's 2 weeks. Magazines can be loaned for 10 days, DVDs for 7 days.
And are CDs 1 week, the same as DVDs?
That's correct.
What about renewals? How do I go about renewing items?
You can renew items in several ways, either online by accessing your library account or in person. You can also use our automated telephone renewal service, or you can call the checkout desk.
And how many items can I renew?
You can renew 10 items 4 days into their loan period.
I'm going to be working on a research project. I might need to reserve items that are currently out on loan. How do I go about doing this?
It's through your library account. We'll email you once the items are available. You then have 5 days to pick them up before they go back into general circulation.
And can I just go on the computers when I come in, or do I need to book a slot?
Yes, I'm glad you asked me that. We have wireless laptops for in-library use that can be borrowed for up to 1 hour. It's first come, first served, so you cannot reserve these. Alternatively, you can bring in your own laptop and log into the library's homepage using your library card number and PIN.
OK, that's great. Thanks for your help.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You will hear a passenger train announcement about how to board a train with a ticket. First, you have some time to look at questions.
Good afternoon, rail passengers. The train arriving at platform 4 is the overnight express to Telstar City. This is our high-speed, non-stop service with dining facilities and a sleeping car. The train will depart at 15:50 hours. All passengers, including children, are required to have a boarding pass before they can board the train. Please exchange your ticket for a boarding pass at the green booth near the main entrance. When you have obtained your boarding pass, you can access platform 4 through gate R. Passengers without tickets should obtain them from the manned ticket office at the North Gate entrance, or use the self-service ticketing machines located throughout the main hall. Passengers who purchase their tickets online and printed off a bar-coded boarding pass can access platform 4 through gate T, where their passes will be checked prior to boarding. Boarding will begin at approximately 15:05 hours. Please board the class of carriage shown on your boarding pass, either standard class or premium class. Your seat number is indicated on the pass. Reserved seats should be claimed at least 30 minutes before the train is due to depart. Reserved seats not claimed by 15:20 hours will be made available to other passengers. If you have reserved a place in the sleeping car, please show your boarding pass to the attendant on the train, who will direct you to your sleeping compartment. Thank you.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions.
Welcome aboard the overnight express service to Telstar City. Meals are now being served on the train. Passengers travelling in standard class can have a light meal in a dining car, located in the middle of the train, or bring their food back to their seats. A limited selection of meals is available from around €5. Passengers travelling in premium class can have their complimentary 3-course dinner and drinks served in the dining car or at their seat by the waiter. A full selection of meals is offered. This service is also available to sleeping class passengers. Passengers in the sleeping car have a 5-star continental breakfast included in the price, and they can purchase additional drinks and snacks from the attendant. Thank you.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
You will hear 2 university students discussing their essays. Before you listen, You have 30 seconds to read questions 21 to 26.
How's it going, Sue?
Pretty well, except that I'm almost asleep on my feet. I was up until 2 a.m. finishing my essay.
Me too. However, I've still only written 1,800 words, and we're meant to hand in 2,500. I've no idea where I'm going to get another 700 from.
Oh dear, I've got the opposite problem. My essay is nearly 4,000 words long, so I'll need to be quite brutal with editing.
However did you manage that?
I'm really interested in the topic, so I did lots of independent research. I've got a pretty thorough knowledge of the HDI now.
The HDI?
The Human Development Index. You know, the list of indicators for health, income, sustainability.
Yeah.
What statistics did you draw on for your discussion of poverty?
Don't ask. The graphs and charts I found I didn't know how to describe. So in the end, I cut and pasted a table and a paragraph from my friend Abdul's essay. He took this course last year. I don't really understand any of the stuff I copied from him either, but he passed, which is all that counts.
I see.
Before we meet our tutor, Sue, I wonder if you could do me a favor. When I had my consultation with him last week, he crossed out so much of my first draft that I had to start all over again.
OK, show me your first page. Well, you might add a sentence to your introduction. It's not clear to me which argument you support, or is that in the conclusion?
But if I add one sentence to the introduction, that's only another 20 words.
True. Skimming through this, it seems you've used 2 sources for research, whereas our lecturer insisted that we have at least 5. This quote on the second page is really long. It is relevant, but I hope you realise quotes aren't counted in the word limit.
So now, I don't even have 1,800 words. How about I take away the quotation marks, so it'll look like my own writing?
I don't think that'll work. In fact, it's plagiarism, stealing from another writer. Our essays are put through a computer program to check what's copied from elsewhere.
I don't get why people care about plagiarism. In my country, that's how we learn.
At secondary school here, some students do copy, but at university, we should develop our own ideas.
What if I don't have any ideas?
Then it's time to get some.
Before you listen to the rest of the conversation, you have 30 seconds to read questions 27 to 30.
What shall I do about this long quote, Sue?
You can paraphrase or summarise it. You'll need a reference as well.
A reference?
An in-text citation, like the Harvard system. You need to acknowledge where the information came from.
Whoa!
We were given a worksheet on the Harvard system in the first tutorial. Have a look at my essay now to see what you need to do.
Are these names and dates in brackets a reference?
Yes, they refer to the bibliography on my last page. That reminds me, you don't seem to have attached your bibliography. Do you have it floating around in your bag?
Yes, here it is. Have a look.
Is this your bibliography or Abdul's?
What do you mean?
Well, I'd say it was Abdul's, because there are 7 sources, and none of them is either on our reading list or referred to in your essay. Our tutor wasn't born yesterday.
I can sort the bibliography out later. That's the least of my worries. We still haven't solved how I'm going to write another 700 words in fewer than 24 hours.
You'll need to do some more research today. I found Newcomb really helpful, and also Sword. Why don't you read them?
I would if I had time, but I'm working tonight. In fact, I start at 2 o'clock and go through till 9:30.
Read the articles at work then. They're not very long. I found both of them offered convincing arguments for redefining poverty, and their alternative indicators for failed states are also interesting.
But I'm running out of time, and I can't walk around the menswear department reading scraps of paper. Look, let me make a suggestion. Why don't you write the extra paragraphs, Sue? I bet you'd be able to do them in about a half an hour. You could email them to me tonight. I'll check my email the minute I get home. In return, I'll give you a gift voucher from my department store.
Nice try. Firstly, I've got to work tonight as well. Remember I told you about editing my essay? Secondly, the tutor will spot my writing style. And lastly, believe it or not, I'm that rare breed of female who doesn't like shopping.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
You will hear a lecture on desalination. Before you listen, read questions 31 to 40.
In an era of climate change, many countries no longer have the rainfall they used to have. Furthermore, with population increase, the already depleted groundwater supplies are running out. Therefore, worldwide governments, cities, industries, and ocean-going ships have opted for desalination. There are various methods of desalination used in the world today. There's solar desalination, geothermal desalination, multi-stage distillation, and saltwater reverse osmosis desalination. In this lecture, I shall describe saltwater reverse osmosis desalination, with particular reference to the supply of fresh drinking water. I shall also outline its drawbacks. Desalination is the process of removing salt and other minerals from water molecules, making it potable or ready for drinking. In reverse osmosis desalination, seawater is purified by being forced at very high pressure through a membrane, a kind of skin. The solid waste and bilge are separated out, and the water sent on to the consumer. There are 7 stages to the process. Follow me on the diagram while I explain. Corner, you can see the word intake, which means filling a pipe in the ocean. This water goes to the pumping station. Here come 2 objections to desalination. There are lots of pipes causing leakage or evaporation, so we lose the very water we're trying to catch. Secondly, pumping requires energy, massive amounts of energy, which produces greenhouse gases. Back to the diagram. At the pumping station, the water is screened. Sand, shells, and rubbish are removed. Next, the water is forced into a revolving cylinder. Inside this cylinder, there's mesh and a sandwich of membranes through which the impurities are spun out. The concentrate, brackish, salty waste, is pumped back into the sea. That's number 34 on your diagram. After desalination, fluoride is added. Then, the water goes into a huge clear water storage tank before entering the city's existent water network. Desalination produces fresh water, but at what cost? The organization Food and Water Watch found desalinated water to be the most expensive form of fresh water available, costing 5 times as much to harvest as other sources. The price tag on one plant in Sydney was more than 2 billion Australian dollars. Another objection is that cheaper alternatives exist. Take recycling. Currently in Sydney, about 2% of the total amount of water used is recycled. However, if rainwater were captured in tanks on the roofs of buildings, then it'd be easy to recycle up to 20% a year, roughly the amount of fresh water a desalination plant produces in the same time. Recently, there's been a campaign to educate Australians about water use. There've also been restrictions in place, like when you can water your garden or fill your swimming pool. With just these two things, education and restriction, Sydney residents use 10% less water in the past 5 years than in the 5 preceding. As I've said, desalination plants require excessive energy, but there's another problem. They flood the ocean with waste. In Sydney, up to 1.5 billion litres of concentrate go into the Pacific Ocean daily. And perhaps even more alarmingly, there's a problem at the intake end too. Marine biologist Sylvia Earle has commented on the hidden environmental cost of desalination by claiming that ocean water is filled with living creatures, and most of them are lost in the process of desalination. You might be asking, why were desalination plants built in the first place? Probably because water could be even scarcer in the future. And it's easier to build big projects than to persuade millions of homeowners to recycle.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.